Happy Monday morning, my friends. Well, we made it through the weekend. For all my friends who are moms, happy Mother's Day. I hope you had a fantastic Mother's Day and people honored you and celebrated you as you should be. Now, today we're slipping into a bit of a different energy. Well, sorry, we're going to slip in it tomorrow, but we're going to focus in on it today. Mercury retrograde comes in tomorrow. It's never a fun or easy time. However, just like always, there are opportunities and possibilities throughout this time frame. We need to use this time to our advantage. So that means not sticking our head in the sand, not sticking our bum in the air for their Mercury retrograde and the universe to kick. So what I want to do is look at how Mercury retrograde is going to impact you. But more importantly, how are you going to use this time to your advantage? How can you use Mercury in retrograde, and yes, you can, to your advantage, and get the most out of the next 3.5 weeks? We go into Mercury retrograde tomorrow on the 10th of May, and then we're going to come out of Mercury retrograde. So Mercury will go direct on June 2nd. It's not like it's a little bit of time. We've got a few weeks here. And what's more, this is the second out of 4 Mercury retrogrades. So it's not like it's time where you want to kind of hibernate, because that's going to be a number of weeks throughout our year. So Mercury retrograde, yeah, it can really suck. However, we do have the ability to use it to our advantage. We have done it before. We know we've done it before because even before we knew it was Mercury retrograde, when we stay in that high positive, that's when we can see those opportunities, those possibilities, and you can overcome the communication challenges, the technology problems, the kind of push and pull of other people. So let's get into this. So for these decks, and I always have links below to them, so if they interest you, you can go check them out. I'm going to be using, this is the Energy Oracle, which is probably one you've seen around. It's very popular. This one is kind of fun. This is the Wild Unknown Tarot. It too, beautiful and fun. I love using the Wild Unknown Tarot for kind of these very charged readings, because we know that Mercury retrograde is a challenge. But yet, even when you have that high contrast challenge, there's beauty and color, should we take the time to look at it. So like I said, there are links below to these decks. And the Wild Unknown Tarot is very popular as well. So let's look at Mercury retrograde. How will Mercury retrograde impact my friends? And I don't want to, it's not usually gets into the communication problems per se. That's kind of a given. This is above that. Okay. This is the 6 of Cups. This talks about that reminiscing. Now, it may sound weird, but it really, like I just said, not even 5 minutes ago, we've lived through and been successful on Mercury retrogrades. We just need to reach back and figure out what we did. And a lot of times what we did was we had fun. Mercury retrograde really didn't impact us too much as kids because we didn't care. We were so focused on exploring, having adventures, connecting in with our friends, enjoying our day. As we started to adult, we got into more of the, I've got demands, expectations, I have to do rah, rah, rah. Well, see the difference, right? Getting back to some of that adventure, that play, will support you in getting out of your day more than what you normally do, because you're not so focused in on the problems, you're not so focused in on your demands and expectations. You're adding in an element of fun and play. It sounds like we have to do a lot of work, but it really isn't. It's about saying, okay, instead of coming home and just flopping on the couch and binging Netflix, I'm going to get out pencil crayons and do some coloring. I really liked that as a kid. Getting Lego, depending on what used to be your passion as a child, I would really recommend tapping into it. Having some fun with it. Having some time of play and joy. And especially as we're getting into, well, some of us are getting into warmer weather. Right now it's snowing outside for me. Love living in Canada sometimes. But that gardening, getting our hands in the dirt, playing in the mud, right? Well, this is pretty evident. This is, of course, the Three of Swords. That heartache, that pain, that fear, it's going to be the core of what slows us down. Mercury retrograde makes us reactive because we're not clearly hearing, we're not clearly understanding, and it's frustrating. And oh, why are they not listening? What are they trying to tell me? So that you already have that frustration. Your ego uses it to its advantage and goes, oh, do you remember the last time this happened? Yeah. And you cried and this happened and then this, and then you're just like, oh my God. That's when we need to really bring in our tools. That level of frustration, that level of anxiety starts to spike. You're not going to hear anything, and people are not going to understand you because you're so reactive. What we need to do is slow down, which I know can be hard. So in a situation where you're in that kind of, oh my God state, excuse yourself, go to the bathroom and run your hands underwater. Simple technique. You're using the cleansing element of water to your advantage, and you're starting to calm yourself. You're removing yourself from that reactive situation. My recommendation, as you have your hands under the water, breathe deeply. Just breathe. When we hold our breath or we have that very shallow, rapid breath, we're not being able to use up here. We are stuck back in what's our rudimentary brain. So back here, that is where we breathe, blink, like our systems work. We don't think about it. Like we don't think about blinking. It just naturally happens. So that's that part of the brain. That's not where your processing is. You're not going to be able to truly think things through. You're going to be in that reactive state. It's not going to help. When we were kids, we were not really in that reactive state until our parents told us we couldn't do something. Then we blew it all up out of proportion. We want to use the past experiences, our past abilities to our advantage. What did we learn? How did we do it before? We don't want to get caught up in the pain and heartache. We want to make sure that we're using the tools, the abilities, how we succeeded. And if again, as we're reflecting in that, if that pain and heartache comes in, that's, again, you need to stop what you're doing, take that breath, take that walk, get out of that cycle, because this is an easy, slippery cycle to get into. I love this card. I love how vibrant it is. This is the Ace of Wands. I said Mercury retrograde has lots of new, lots of exciting. Here it is, Ace of Wands, that new beginning, that eureka. Think of it as when we get over the pain, and it'll still be there, guys. Don't worry about it. Just focus in more on that ace. Because when we're focusing on this, we can't focus in on the Three of Wands or the Three of Swords. We can only do one thing. Our brain will only let us do so much. And if you try and balance the two, you get stagnation. Either you're going to be in that full out, in that, right? When you're in that full on, oh my God, those panic attacks, it's not like it's a half-ass thing. It's a full-blown in your face. This, same thing. When we're enjoying ourselves, that anxiety is not there. That fear is not there. It's going to be an intentional choice, which is going to be your choice. And again, you have the ability, the tools and techniques to be able to focus here when this starts to slide into place. Breathing, because that keeps you up here, balancing yourself out. So that means being calm. You're able to use all your tools. So you know, okay, I want to make sure I've got my crystals with me. I need to make sure my crystals are cleared and charged. And yes, guys, 98% of crystals need to be cleared and charged, especially during Mercury retrograde when we're relying on them so much. The ones that you don't have to worry about, my pendant here that I actually grabbed this morning, and I know we're not in Mercury retrograde, but the energies are really funky. This is Auralite. I don't want to try and pull my chain too close. I'll choke myself because I have Auralite readily available. I use it all the time. It has 23 minerals and different crystals in it. Hard to find. Even in Canada, it's hard to find. It's a crystal that's only found in one mine in Canada. And it can only be like mined in very small pieces because we freeze for like 9% of the 9 months out of the year. So it's got a very short doorway. That's one of them. Selenite's another one. So using your crystals and using your that frontal cortex to plan things out. How are you going to be able to make sure your crystals are clear and charged? What do you need to do to help you get through your commute, to get through your work day, your school day, dealing with traffic, what have you? That's going to be some prep work for you, but at the same time, it's going to help you stay in the Ace of Wands rather than that pain and heartache. I have to read this. This is the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles talks about that balance and that energy flow. Usually this card is the very wealthy man giving money to one person, a peasant on his knees, and then there's another peasant beside him. The money talks about that physical give, and the guy beside him, when he's not really touching or offering anything, it's that emotional support that we also give. So the more the emotional connection. We do need to be mindful of where our connections are and what's happening. It goes along the lines of that choice. This is going to be the constant push and pull you're feeling during Mercury retrograde. Okay? And it's not something new to you. We've dealt with it before. Okay. Important piece, though, is, like I said, that balance and that stability. So balancing in the Six and the stability of the Pentacle. Now, like I said, using your tools to your advantage. So things like crystals, helpful on maintaining and sustaining stability. I always encourage my clients and students to do a meditation beforehand, so you're feeling that crystal support you longer. It's hard for a crystal to clear out your entire body. You would need probably many of them and a number of different types of crystals. But if you do a meditation, and it doesn't have to be a long one, guys, it helps to calm you because you're taking in those deep breaths, you're really focusing in on you, and then you can use your crystals. This one is a tiger iron that helps with stability, helps with grounding, it works with your root chakra. Now, any red or black crystal will work. So this one might be harder to find, but any red, black crystal you can just have with you, and that will help maintain that stability. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I like to give guidance, but I also like to give tools. Okay. I have 3 meditative playlists I have 4 healing playlists, and then I also just have a kind of an angel energy playlist that does healings and it does readings with the angels. Lots of supports. Now my meditative playlists, the 3 of them, they range in times. Some of them are like 5 to 10 minutes and others can get up to 30, 45 minutes. You can go through and access them as you need. Most importantly, guys, know that they're all free. I'm not a monetized channel, so you can access them as you need, okay? That's going to help with that stability and that groundedness. All my meditations, they have a grounding element if they're not about grounding. I love this magician. This is the first card in the Major Arcana. I love how they've hidden the infinity symbol in his furry fluff. The magician talks about you using your everyday tools that are right around you to your advantage, helping you to create that magic, the abundance that you need and want. So things, for example, like that little water trick I told you, running your hands under water, taking that breath, helping to clear yourself out of that energy, using crystals to your advantage. You have lots of tools, and it's important. And if you're new to this and you're like, I don't know what tools to start off with, I have a crystal 101 that can help you with like kind of the top, I think I did 10 or 15 crystals that can help. A lot of them are easy to find. Like this one. Whoa! Crystal on the run. Clear quartz. Super helpful. Super easy to find. And you can start to bring that up. Now, not everybody has unlimited funds for crystals. A lot of the ones in my 101, though, I made sure that they were easier to find and weren't stupidly expensive. There are other things that you can use that you probably already have in your kitchen, like cinnamon, nutmeg. A lot of those spices will connect in with your root chakra. Some will connect in with others, but a lot of them will really connect into that root. And your root chakra helps you maintain that stability. And that's going to help, of course, really opening you up to the positive rather than getting caught in that negative. And what did I say? We've historically had no problem with Mercury retrograde, especially when we're in that high vibration. Okay. So, and if you don't know what to do with the cinnamon that you have, if you have cinnamon sticks, you can put them in your office or school space, your home space. It just as like a decoration because they're kind of fun. If you have a space that has a lot of restrictions, you can put it in your coffee or tea. So you're consuming it. Like, so you're brewing your tea or coffee, you just add in the ground cinnamon or nutmeg or both. Just think about different ways. How would you use that spice, right? And some people are into like flower essence, essential oils, whatever is going to work for you, your tool set, start accessing them. Originally, I was going to do this reading tomorrow on Mercury retrograde, but I was very clearly directed that we needed some prep time. So I wanted to do it a day before. So you have some time to think, okay, what crystals do I need to clear? Okay, what do I need to prep for this week? All right, let's go on to what further insight, information, and guidance I can share with my friends so they can get the most out of Mercury retrograde. The Mother of Pentacles, also known as the Queen of Pentacles. She is the everyday aspect of the Empress, that nurturing, grounded, fertile energy. really speaks to the Ace of Wands with that fertility and that new. And fertility does not always mean babies. It means production of, creating. Babies are included in that. And we usually talk about fertility when it comes to making babies. However, it could be making anything, new opportunities, expanding on things, creating new aspects in life, rekindling and bringing forward aspects that you've forgotten about. So, Mother of Earth, or the Mother of Pentacles, she has a couple messages. One, of course, is the fertility, but more importantly, it is about that nurturing of you, and that compassion for you, compassion for others. This is not just a single thing that's going to impact one person. This is a global problem, a global phenomenon, because it is Mercury. The planet Mercury has come to a point near the sun, and it's going to look like it's going backwards rather than forwards. It's an optical illusion, but the energies that optical illusion create bring us Mercury retrograde. Now, all planets, and I don't know if Earth goes into retrograde, and because I don't think it impacts us if we get to a point and then optically we on other planets look like we're going backwards. But yes, other planets do go into retrograde. You don't hear about it as much because when Saturn is in retrograde or Neptune's in retrograde, it's not as globally impactful because it's not our communication. Sure, Venus, when she's in retrograde, do we have some issues in that love department? Yes, but not so much as when we're really struggling with our communication. So she's talking about having compassion for you, compassion for others. She adds in, of course, that pentacle groundedness, that stability. The calmer and more stable we are on the inside, the more we're going to be able to deal with as Mercury continues to be in this retrograde for the next 3.5 weeks. I just talked about her. The Empress. She is the bigger aspect, that kind of bigger energy of what I was just talking about. Talking about how this is a global piece. It's going to impact humans the most, but it does impact our pets. They may seem a little off. We need to have that compassion, that love, that groundedness, that stability, so that we can engage in that fertility and these new opportunities and aspects that are here, that are right in front of us. We're missing them because we're so caught up in those expectations, demands, hurts, fears. That's an easy kind of escape. We don't have the expectations and the need to push ourselves outside our box when we're caught up in the fear and pain. Starting to see a theme here. This is kind of looks like a morbid card, not morbid. This is the Four of Swords. It looks like that poor sheep's gone to the slaughter. That's not what we're talking about. So the Four of Swords is the rest and rejuvenation card. This is usually the card in the Suit of Swords. You have this man laying on a table in a church. Everything looks kind of goldish. It's a knight laying on kind of a pew or a table, resting in a safe space of a church. He's underneath a stained glass window, and it looks like he's gold, but he's not. It's just the stained glass reflecting. Back in 1909, 1910, Pamela Coleman Smith did not have the ability to do the stagger. I don't know what it is, but the stagger different colors of the stained glass. It wouldn't print. So that's what it is. But that rest, that rejuvenation, that care for self, we really need to bring it in to everyday and part of our everyday tools so we can overcome this pain, we can stay in control and we can embrace the fun, the joy, and the happiness. The Hermit. I love the fact the Hermit's a turtle. I'm going to date myself because of Teenage Mutant Turtles. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the Hermit. He's usually the old man with the lantern. Mm-hmm. The Hermit talks about that reflection inwards. Again, we have another major arcana here. And the major arcana do talk about the bigger aspect, those bigger picture pieces that are going to impact you not only now, but in the future. So this stability, this fertility, it's going to be hanging around for a while, even after Mercury retrograde. It's been here for a while. This is not the first time I've drawn the High Priestess or the Queen of Pentacles. We know that it's going to be here, especially as we're getting into the spring and as we start to transition into the summer. So the Hermit talks about that inner reflection. That's going to be a big piece, guys. Reflecting on how you're feeling. Not getting to the point of excessive overwhelmingness, like you're like at that point of break. When you start to feel that catch on and you're starting to feel the push and pull of anxiety or pain, what you need to do is take those steps for you. Take that break. Step back. Breathe. Wash your hands. You don't need soap. You just need the water. If you have time for meditation, like I said, my meditations run from 5 to 10 minutes all the way up to 45. Easy, right? Take a walk, get some fresh air, ground yourself. So many little things that you can do so that you know that you're always in control. You want to be up here rather than reactive, especially during Mercury retrograde. Additionally, that reflection, the first card we drew was the Six of Cups. That's that reflection card. Reflection is a fantastic tool to help us understand where we came from and where we want to go. Again, not getting caught up in the pain or fear, but kind of looking at it from an outside perspective. So this happened, this is what was learned, these are the tools that were used. Literally go through as if you were looking at someone else's life. What tools keep coming up for you? What things help you over the hardest parts of your life? Those are going to be important tools. And the Hermit wants to go back and look at this. Now, we don't want to obsess over it, guys. This is just little tricks. This is another tool in your repertoire so that you have more stuff at hand. This table becomes really full. And the fuller it is, the easier it is to go, oh, I need this, not this. Because I have more access to different, abilities, different tools, different supports. So you know you're starting to really feel overwhelmed or you know you're going to have a hard day. Oh, I'm going to give myself, 20, 30 minutes. I'm going to go online. Here's that meditation I thought of. I'm going to try that. The Ace of Pentacles really brings in that, table move back. There we go. It brings in that fertility, those new beginnings, those emerging aspects. Similar to the Ace of Wands, aces are about beginnings, new opportunities. I said there was going to be some. We've got lots. The more grounded and stable we are, the more we're going to be open to them. The more we're going to find that inner passion, that fulfillment, that connection flare up. So interestingly enough, we have 2 aces and we also have 2, I believe, 6s because we have we have a couple. The 2 6s, Cups and Pentacles. So let's go in. I've got a couple more. So we've got actually 3 ones. So we've got the double aces here, and then the Magician. When you have these multiple ones like this, the angels are telling you that it is time to use your abilities, trust in self, so that you can get so much more done. And then we have threes, the Empress, and then the Three of Swords. Yes, this Three of Swords is not one where we're like, woohoo, yay! But in angel messages, those multiple threes, the angels are telling you something close to your heart needs to be expressed. And then we had, I thought I saw another one. The ones, the threes, the sixes. When we have the multiple sixes, the angels are telling you that you need to focus in on your balance, balancing your energies between self and balancing energies between the physical and the spiritual self. So lots of hidden messages. That's why we need to be grounded, stable, and present to start to be observant to them. I encourage people to have a spiritual binder ready at hand to write down stuff like this. Write down multiple numbers. You don't need to know what they mean. Not right away. You can just say, you know what, at noon I saw, triple sixes. And that's not a bad thing. I know a lot of people are like, oh my God, it's the number of the beast. No. When you have those multiple sixes come in, like I said, it's balancing energy between self, the physical self, and the spiritual self. So slow down. Don't jump to conclusions. That's your ego trying to cause reaction. Write it down. Okay? Please, 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 I don't even have my phone here. Stay off your phone when it comes to writing this kind of stuff down. Low vibration and high vibrational energies can and do impact technology. And that's when you lose everything. Pen and paper, so much more challenging for the low vibration or your ego to take over. Can it? Sure. Coffee gets spilled, tea gets dumped, jam gets spilled. Not the end of the world. It is, though, a learning opportunity, right? So if something spills, you can write that down. Stupid coffee. Stupid ego. Learning opportunity. It will dry. Smudges will happen, but it's not lost. So writing stuff down. And you don't have to carry a binder around. You can carry a notepad or pieces of paper or something, having it in your car or in your bag. So you can just write it down. That way you can add it into your binder. You can pull it out, paste it in. That's why I like the binder format better. It gives more flexibility to adding in the little pieces. Okay. What will support, my friends, in embracing the Magician, the Empress, and the Hermit during Mercury Retrograde? Angel of Love. That compassion to self, compassion to others is going to be life-changing. Knowing that they're challenged. Checking in with them. It's really rough right now. Did you know Mercury's in retrograde? Communication sucks. This is what I'm hearing you say. What did you hear me say? I want to make sure that what I'm trying to say is coming across. When we say I statements, you're putting it back on you, and it's not so aggressive. Mercury can't really impact that because it's I, me, not you. The minute you start saying, did you hear that? What'd you hear? You, it starts to become more accusatory. That love, that high vibration, when you're checking in, just saying, you know what? I know it's rough on me. How are you doing? What did you hear me say? Because I don't know what I said, how it came across during Mercury retrograde. That me and I statement go a long way. Man holding a coin. And for all my friends who know who Fabio is, seriously, right? I look at these cards. There's also a man holding a heart. Looks like his son or brother or something. Okay, so man holding a coin. Reminding you there is a lot of prosperity and abundance right around us. The higher our vibration. Oh, hi. Sorry, Charlie. I didn't see you come in. I'm doing good. We're heading into Mercury retrograde. So the man holding the coin, We just need to start to take hold of it. It goes into the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles, those abundant aspects. We have to intentionally start to grab hold of it. Yeah, I know. But we are on the second one of 4, so we're almost done. That's how I'm rolling with it. Staying on this positive, because the negative is going to eat us alive. Envy. It hits home with the 3 of Swords that we were talking about. Envy talks about getting into the couldas, the shouldas, and the wouldas, sitting there and swirling in it. We don't want that. That's not going to help. Yes, we've lived through a lot in this lifetime and past lifetimes. If we get stuck in that pain, we are going to miss out. Where is it all? On so much. Oh, breathe, and then breathe some more. And if you have any, Tiger Iron will help ground you so that with Mercury in retrograde, it will help give you the stability you're going to need. And also, depending on how your throat chakra is, you may want to try some lapis lazuli, something blue, to help with the communication. People who are really ruled by Mercury really are impacted big time by Mercury retrograde. So yeah, no worries. And I know you're joining me live, but if you go back, I've been giving tips on different ideas throughout this reading, because for some reason, guys, and I don't know why, this Mercury retrograde is really going to be kind of more turbulent. That's why when I went through and I was like, oh, I'm going to plan this out, I'll just do it on Mercury retrograde. Yeah, that'll be great. We can just celebrate the fact we're in Mercury. All I heard on Friday was, no, you need prep. And I'm like, ooh, okay. Prep work we can do. So I changed it last minute. So using our tools, guys, that magician's in play, to our advantage. Okay? We don't want to get caught up in the pain, because that's just going to amplify and be aggravated. Especially, and I'm going to do a reading on this later in the week, we're coming into the full flower moon, but it's going to be a blood moon, which is not going to work well with Mercury retrograde. I know that already. So we don't want to fear it. Again, we don't want to get into that low vibration. Think of it as outsmarting the bad guy. You're using your tools. You're using your knowledge. We're staying up here. We're not getting reactive. We're going to use up here. Planning forward, making sure, okay, I know for the 5 days that the full moon's in play, they're going to be a bit rough. I'm going to make sure that I have extra crystals. I'm going to make sure I make time and plan in time for meditations. Giving yourself that love and stability so that these ahas and this fun and the beauty of our day comes forward. So, all my friends who are live, if you have more questions, feel free to type them now. And for my friends who are joining me later, please, if you have more questions, I love hearing, or I love answering questions as I come across your posts, and I do my best to get back to you as soon as possible. And also, guys, doing a little housekeeping stuff. If you like the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It helps people find me on the sea of YouTube. Also, for you guys though, more importantly, make sure you subscribe and hit the little bell thingy, because there's so much coming forward, especially even in this week. I've got a healing coming up tomorrow. I've got a full moon reading later this week. I've got our weekly review on Friday. There's a lot happening in the next couple of weeks. Best way to make sure you don't miss any of that is to subscribe and hit the little red bell. Okay, I'm going to thank all my friends who are joining me later. Thank you for joining me. I will see you later in the week. And for my friends who are here, I will answer questions. Yeah. Is it Charlie? No, Shaylee. I am sorry. I'm probably really hacking your name up. I apologize. I don't have my glasses on and the type is really small. Yeah, it is going to be a little bit of a turbulent upcoming couple weeks. This Mercury retrograde, like I just said, is not. Oh, Shaylee, sorry. Thank you for spelling it out. I can, lean forward. It's not going to be easy. Making sure that you use your tools. We, like the magician here did say, use those tools that are right around you, the ones that are strong and help you. We had the 6 of Cups, that going back, what's really helped you over those hard times. And also, when we were kids, what did you do that was the most fun? Because that fun and play, it's going to really bring in these 2 pentacles. Or 2 aces, sorry. So yeah, all we can do, remember to breathe, because those shallow breaths will not help you. And if you're a crystal woman like me, so shiny, make sure that you have them clear, and that you've got them close. Okay. Like I said, your throat chakra might help. So something like lapis lazuli, any blue crystal, lapis lazuli, will help. Grounding, anything red, black. Okay, if you're learning about crystals, on my channel here, I have, last week I did Crystal 101 with crystal grids, but I have another one where it's like Crystal 101, just talking about crystals. That will help. But you can go in and watch those videos. Those are great. Lapis lazuli is an easy, it's just a dark blue crystal. It's easy to find. It's a relatively easy one. Some crystals, like I said, like what I'm wearing is Auralite 23, and that's really hard to find. It's one of those crystals that can't be mined all year round. Other suggestions, any red or black crystal, because that's with your root chakra. This is tiger iron. It's red and black. This one's really easy to, well, sort of easy to come up on camera. So it hits with your root chakra and it'll help with stability. Oh, if you have Auralite bracelets, you don't have to worry about clearing these ones. Auralite is a fantastic one not to have to worry about. Just make sure you're putting them on, okay? But any red or black will help. Okay, so I'd start there. Those 3 chakras are going to be really, or 2 chakras are going to be important. Your throat and your solar plexus. Okay? All right, so if you have any questions, you can keep writing, but I'm going to see you guys tomorrow.